If you do not have boundaries, you're playing a very dangerous game with yourself. You're going to cost yourself peace, respect, time, and healthy relationships. Sometimes we wish that we could have seen what would happen with certain people because we wish we never met them because of the damage they caused in our lives. By enforcing boundaries, you can be able to see some things before you get involved with someone. With new people, you need to take time to know them. Not everyone has bad intentions. There are people who have good intentions. There are some people who will want to harm you and hurt you and get in your way. But then there are some people who will just want to use you or will just want to be with you because you're the available option. And to avoid all this hurt, take your time in getting to know people. You cannot meet someone today and then by next month, and you're calling each other best friends. A month is such a short time, to be honest, because we always put our best foot forward when we meet people. It's not that you're lying about yourself, but you're just presenting a filtered version of yourself because you want this person to see the best in you and not all the faults that you have. And with some people, they do wear masks and they present a false version of themselves to you. But the thing about masks is that something will always slip. And sometimes it's not a big thing, but they're just small things that will slip through the cracks. It will tell you what you need to know about that particular person. And when you're observing from a distance, it's easier to detach from that person than when you're involved with that particular person, because it will be easy for you to brush it off as an imperfection and not a trait that is not acceptable. For new people, you can give them a level of access to you, but you cannot give them the same level of access with someone who has proven themselves to you and someone you've known for a long time. They can have, that first level of access. You can't give them the last level of access just because you feel like you know them, because you feel like they have great intentions with you, or because someone shared their trauma with you and you think that that's all you need to know about them. You may know what happened to them in their childhood, but it doesn't mean that you know them as a person. That's just one thing about them. And the thing about sharing traumas is that some people do use them as tactics to pull you in, like narcissists. They will give you a sob story so that you can see them as victims. If they're the victims, they're good people, and you'll want to love on them and be good to them. So be careful about that too. When you're setting up boundaries, there are healthy boundaries and there are unhealthy boundaries. A healthy boundary looks like you're a house and you have a fence surrounding you and you have a gate. So not everyone can access you, but you can give some people permission to access you. One version of an unhealthy boundary looks like there's a house, but there's nothing surrounding it. So anyone and everyone can come in, can have access to you. Another one is having a house and having a fence, but no gate. So no one can actually access you. And this might have served you for a while, but it will get to a point where you'll need connection because as humans, we are social beings. It won't serve you in the long run. You just need a screening process so that you can be able to know who you can let in and who does not deserve to be let in. You also need to set boundaries with people you know and people who are already in your life. And if you're a people pleaser, this will be so hard for you, but it's not impossible. You can say no, you have the right to say no. And no is a complete sentence. Let me remind you, you don't have to give anyone a reason. You can, but you're not obligated to. You always put the needs of others first, but other people do not put you first. They never think about how inconvenient it will be to you, or if they do know how inconvenient it will be to you, they simply do not care because they're benefiting from you. Because people benefit from your lack of boundaries, don't expect that it will be met with celebration from the other people. It may be met with hostility. You may be called selfish and other things because they no longer have that sort of access to you. They can no longer use you and they feel pain about it. Of course, they're hurt that they can no longer use you the way they did. So don't let that reaction from them deter you from actually setting boundaries or make you think that you're a selfish person. You're not a selfish person because you want to be treated in a certain way. You're not selfish because you want people to respect your time. You're not selfish because you simply do not want to do something. They can also do whatever they're asking you to do. So why should you be the only person who's saying yes to them? And I know since you're a people pleaser, you never question people when they tell you no. You respect that decision. So your decision should also be respected. Don't think that you're being a bad person by doing that. You're not. It doesn't benefit you to keep the peace outside while there is no peace in you. It doesn't benefit you. Practice saying no. Sometimes you may be ready to say no, but you'll find yourself saying yes because it's a habit for you to say yes. Don't be disappointed when this happens. It takes some time to be able to get to a place where you can tell someone no. You will get there eventually. Don't be hard on yourself. Give grace to yourself. One step is recognizing that that's not okay. That is one step. Another step is actually standing up for yourself. And it doesn't matter if you do it while your voice is shaking or while you're crying. Be proud of yourself for doing that. Please be proud of yourself. Buy yourself something. Congratulate yourself. And then from there, you can move on to saying no without feeling anything, without holding back, without shaking. So it's a muscle that you need to stretch over time. Don't think you'll get there on the first try. It may take a few tries to get there, but you'll eventually get there. It may be hard to set boundaries, but it's not impossible. One thing to know is what is draining you and what do you feel good about. If someone asks you to do something that is draining you, you don't have to do it. If you feel good about it, you can do it, but you don't have to do it, especially if it's not your responsibility. You do not have to do it. Another thing is you need to be direct and assertive when communicating with the other person. Clearly state that you're not going to do whatever they want you to do and stand your ground on it and be assertive because you can trust your own judgment when you don't want to do something. It doesn't have to be a good enough reason for them. You can just want to stay at home instead of doing something that they want you to do. You don't have to explain that to them, but you need to be assertive and tell them, no, I do not have time for that. Start by building your confidence by saying no to things. In the smallest of things, you'll be surprised how much your life will change when you start saying no. People are in healthy relationships because they had the courage to say no and they knew that they did not want certain people around them. And it's fine to have standards. They're yours, they're your standards, and they're your rules of engagement. So stand up for yourself. Aren't you tired of being used and abused by people? If you are, then set boundaries and be ready to be valued and respected in the relationships that you have, because boundaries open up a new world for you. They do not limit you. They will actually make you live a life you want to live. So don't be afraid and you'll get there. Until next time, bye.